Hey folks, I'm Red Monster SC, and in this long play video, I'm going to take you through an unscripted, unedited gemstone mining expedition using a rented Cutlass Black and a rented Greycat rock. If you're looking to get into mining but don't know where to start, this is one of the lowest cost ways to break your way in. I'll show you how to rent the vehicles, what support items you should have on hand, and how to actually get out there and start making money with gemstone mining. So, let's dive in. Alright, welcome in. Let's go ahead and get wake up into a messy hab already. Back for Golem Greenhorn. Just a quick recap. So I've done a little bit of mining on in my spare time with Golem Greenhorn. A couple of gemstones, so up to about 360,000 credits, which is a reasonable amount to start with. But today the priority is going to be to go out and get into some gemstone mining. We've got a patch that's on the horizon, probably dropping today actually as I record this. So we'll go for that. It looks like somebody's left some stuff in our inventory here. You can see I've got a couple of Janelite. I actually did a cave, so looking to sell that off to my main account. We'll cover that later. And that is a Pembroke suit, backpack and stuff. Okay, tempting as it is, I'm not sure what's in there. We're gonna skip that. Somebody just I guess didn't have enough inventory. I run into that with my main account, but my home base, I have too much crap. So I can never buy and store stuff at my home location. I have to wait, like just drop it and end up losing half of my stuff, so. Okay, we've woken up here at Lorville. We're gonna head out to, get down to the central area here. And yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of shopping. A couple things we need to buy for our gemstone mining trip. So first off, we need to get a Pembroke suit. That's going to be for the extreme heat we're going to find on Aberdeen, which is our target for today. I'm also going to try and find a cargo crate if they have one available. A tractor rifle, regular rifle, and then of course bringing along some crews, because right now we're at 66% hydration, and you know, cruise helps with that. And then we're going to head over to the spaceport, and we're going to rent 2 ships. Right now, the only ship I've got available to myself is the Drake Golem, and as fun as that is, it's also pretty limited in utility. So if you started with that game package, you probably wanted to get an upgrade at some point. This will be a nice, cheap area to do that. We're just heading to Tammany and Sons here. Should have narrated that a little bit better, but Tammany and Sons, very easy to get in. So, yeah, we don't have a store all crate available, but we should have Pembroke. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick buy on the exploration suit. 15,000 credits. The helmet. Okay, 11,000, and the backpack. You want all 3. And then yeah, the max lift, we'll buy that. Another 19,000 credits. Those are all, I would say, pretty essential parts of the kit. And then personal weapons, is there anything weapon related here? We may have to go up to Everus Harbor. They'll also have a cargo deck, yeah. I'm not seeing any weapons here at Lorville. I guess I should have remembered. It's just not that great for this type of stuff. So, last, do we have some crews? Not in the personal weapons category. We have some. And I'm actually just gonna quick buy that into... Oh, it doesn't even recognize my backpack? We'll take care of that when we get up to the cargo deck. Okay. So, here's a personal item bank. let's go ahead and swap out some gear. So first, yeah, we'll drop the water bottles off. Kind of remove that gear. Stick chops and a mohawk for the dude. When I get into character customizer for this, I just randomize. Does pretty well. It looks like it bought me 2. Alright. 2 elements for that. I am going to bring along these into my new backpack. But there we go. We are ready for the heat. Let's head up to the spaceport now. So, like I said, 300,000 credits. Reasonable starting point, but not nearly enough to buy any of the ships that we're looking at. They're a lot more expensive than that, but we have an option. We can go and rent 24 hours, and we'll probably spend like 40,000 credits or so to get a Greycat rock and a Cutlass Black combo. Greycat rock is only like 3,000 credits, I want to say. We definitely have the budget for it, and it's something, if you're wanting to get into mining, it's worth giving a shot. Of course, we're stuck behind this dude who continues to speed up and slow down. I swear, if he makes me miss my train again. Okay.
And let passengers disembark before boarding.
There we go. So, yeah. We got the max lift tractor beam. I did not bring along a multi-tool. I think my hand tool might have gotten yoinked somewhere. But the tractor rifle will be perfect for what we need it. Just keep the Greycat rock moving around. Gonna make a couple of stops. The spaceport, we'll go look at New Deal and see how much these vehicles would cost if you were to buy them outright with in-game credits. And then we'll go and rent them. And then we're gonna fly that Greycat rock into the Cutlass Black, fly it up to Everus Harbor where we got a cargo deck, and we'll be able to buy our storage crate. It's important to bring along a storage crate since the Greycat rock, you can fit like 1,200 gems in there, but that's like 2 or 3 good sized patches. You don't want to limit your mining runs to just that, so we'll give that a shot. Of course, sprinting along for a sense of time and brevity. Walking through customs. Lorville's been a lot of people's favorite. It's a nice central location. Yeah, the neighborhood's a little rough sometimes, but yeah, we'll head over to New Deal real quick. We'll just browse what these ships look like for in-game purchase. Because if you're out there, doing a pretty good mining run, maybe you've got yourself a lot of extra credits. They did add a second terminal here, which is nice. Guy's just over there acting all shady. We have the Drake and the Cutlass Black. They're 3.7 million credits to buy it outright. Not bad at all. And the Greycat, we could buy one outright. It's only 104,000 credits. Don't get the Rock DS. Don't get the Rock DS. But yeah, between these, 104,000, 3.7, basically 4 million credits if you wanted to buy this combination outright and start harvesting your way up. Now, Prospector, not too far beyond that, but does not have any cargo capacity to it. So we're gonna head over to this Vantage Rentals, and this is the place to be. A couple first options. Yes, the Greycat Rock, 2,600. We're only doing 1 day. There's been, I don't know if they fixed it, but you used to be able to do like a 30-day rental. And yeah, basically it just scales by day. You can go 1 day, 3 day, or 7 day. I would always just do 1 day. See how you like it. I'm gonna go ahead and rent the Greycat Rock. $25.99. Okay. Little rounding error there, probably. And then let's look at, they usually have the Cutlass Black. Yep, 52,000. So 56,000 credits total. We're gonna go rent this one for the 1 day. all in all, like a little bit less than 100,000 credits for the whole outfitting today. So I'm going to gotta run back to the terminal here to pull the Cutlass Black. I'm gonna switch things around a little bit.
Welcome to the aUEC vehicle retrieval system.
Can get it delivered. And now I can retrieve. And you see it's rented.
Vehicle
Timer's already
selected.
going.
Stand by.
So very
Your
generous.
vehicle has been delivered. Please visit.
So we go to that medium hangar. I think the Golem would only have gotten us a small hangar. So we wouldn't have been able to pull the Cutlass Black there by default. Let's give this the elevators and the waiting time here. Okay, medium hangar. You see the ship marker there. Ayo. All right. Looks nice. Now we're not even gonna use it yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out
to the aUEC
the Greycat rock now. Gonna deliver that and request and get it set up to be able to run.
Your vehicle has
So
been
retrieving that is gonna store the Cutlass Black. Got a little tractor rifle. Woo. So we'll just drive it off in one of the corners here and then pull the Cutlass Black back out. We're doing this because, yeah, once you've got your vehicle out, your main ship, you kind of have to have your other vehicles set up and ready to go. If they are there but not actually pulled out into the hangar, they're just in the local area and stored. You got to store your ship every time, and it's kind of an annoying thing. So get all your ground vehicles out first, park them off to the side, probably in this corner over here, and then yeah, keep going that. With 4.2, you can pull your Atlas Geos with the freight elevator, all of the Greycat rock, and those are the ground vehicles. They do not work that way, but at least for the Atlas, being a cargo mover, and you know the Atlas Geo, that's the mining variant. Having those available is great. I do think they need to bring the other vehicles up. Get like a little small vehicle, platinum-based style hangar. A little bouncy as we go. Okay, just oh yeah, those lamps. So I'll set you right here. Power down some stuff. And that's why you bring the tractor rifle. You know, I'm not gonna risk that. Whatever this guy is doing. I'm gonna power down everything.
Systems off. Systems activating. Systems on.
Alright,
Systems off.
there we go. Stable. It was. That's gonna be a problem. I really haven't the foggiest clue what it thinks it's doing. I don't think it does either. There's some weird physics going on there. I wonder if getting in and just... This is the magic of Star Citizen happening right now. Just for the record. Okay.
Systems activating.
Set everything back up. Again, proper. If I get out, leaving everything on still. Yeah, we're still. I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna fare for us. Something weird is going on. I'm going to just choose to ignore that from now on. I know it's a risk. We got our vehicle out here. Try and get it parked inside the back of the Cutlass. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna do weird stuff, or maybe it'll just be fine once we get it onto a different location. So I remember, right? The Cutlass with face and nose up here. Let's go ahead and we'll tractor this while we're going, waiting for the Cutlass Black to come back up. You have very little control over rotation with the ground vehicles like this, but you can bounce them off of other things to kind of get them rotated properly. We'll see if it's happy there. It seems like it's happy. Load you in. Get the cargo ramp open. And we'll do a quick tour of the Cutlass Black before the rock gets in there, just in case the worst happens, you know? Alright, so we have, you know, there's some jump seats on either side. You can sit in there, close them. So there's a total of 6. You got some component housing, some fuses. It does have these nice side doors, so if you get yourself in a position where your back cargo area is blocked, you can get in and out of the side doors, and yeah, kind of vault up in with the space bar. Sometimes that's a little tricky, but it does work. Same thing over here. Another side loading door, open and close. Does not have turret guns or anything on here, but I'm sure you can improvise if you wanted some extra firepower. Okay, in here, there is some internal storage space, which is awesome. I'm actually gonna move my water bottles in here. Okay, so this area is kind of the enclosed living space. You know, very, very Spartan accommodations. This will take you up into a gunner turret. And then you've got 2 beds that are good for bed logging. A couple of weapon racks, 4 total there, and more fuses. Up in front, there's a pilot and a co-pilot seat. Very much a Drake-style cockpit. Go ahead and let's load our rock in. So the one thing with the ramp here is it's not like a flat ramp. It kind of has this tapered nose to it. So your wheels might hit the sides and kind of act a little funny, but just like that. Nice fit. You can kind of see here. We can pull a little further forward, and that will allow us to some space in and out. But I'm going to pull it back just within this area here so that if we do end up juking to the side like it's been doing, it won't go too far. And that looks okay. Now, one problem is that back ramp is still open, but we can close that from the cockpit. You should have open all, close all bound. If you got joysticks. And readying up does it for us. Oh, and Lorville's popular today. Got a line to get out. So we're gonna head to Everus Harbor, right, which is right up above. Cargo deck. We're gonna buy a couple things there. We just need a tractor beam, or sorry, not a tractor rifle. We need a cargo crate to offload some gems into. Grab some crews and probably a weapon. We don't want to be out in the field without any type of FPS weapon. Might run into some weird stuff. So, no, this is Stanton, but it's still worth packing some heat. towards the station. Make sure you ping to get that overlay. Watch your speeds as we approach. We're still 800 meters a second. Toggle it over, and let's start calling for landing. Of course, it gives us the far side of the station. The stations love to do that. You approach one side, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got you right here. It's super close. Just the exact opposite. So you get to admire the station as you move on through. Okay, wonderful. Right near the landing pads as well. We wanted to know where the landing pads were at Everus. On one of these outer struts. And with landing gear down, you kind of cap down to 30 meters a second, which is nice for approach. Go ahead and bring it down. Wonderful. So rather than go out the back, I'm going to take the side. I will go ahead and close it. I always just make it a habit. Close up after yourself. You know, you weren't raised in a barn. I'm going to store the ship. Now, storing it with the Greycat rock in the back is fine. It's fine. The rock will load back up with the ship, so no concerns there. We'll just watch it drop down, wait till the icons get moved out, and then we'll head back to the lobby. Elevators here. Just confirming. There we go. Let's head to the lobby, and we're gonna head to the interstation elevator. I always joke, the Star Citizen has a 1 hour rule. Anything you want to do in Star Citizen takes an hour to get set up. Alright, looks like a designated napping area. They are definitely napping. I saw breathing. Don't worry. Yeah, that is a thing this patch. Folks are enjoying themselves a little too much with cargo containers. Essentially blocking out servers like that. Yeah. I would think that would that'd warrant a little bit of disciplinary action. Alright. Ooh. Racing along. So we're at the cargo deck. You can buy some armor and other materials here. We're gonna go ahead and set ourselves up. Oh, I guess I'm going to this one. Check if they got personal weapons. Just the tractor beams here. It's alright, we'll head to the Galleria for the rest. Okay, we got a 1, 2, 4, or 8 SCU. I think we can fit the 8 SCU in there. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm tempted. I know we can fit the 2 SCU in through the side, so I'm gonna buy 2 of them. Okay, now I have 2 SCU over here, and if I go all categories and just find crews, there we go. And I'm gonna just buy 2. 2 crews is enough. There's a thing you can do where if they're if the cruise is down to 0% and they're stacked, so instead of separate items in your inventory, it's a stack of 2. That actually allows you to put it into your hand and it reads like a full bottle. So 2 is all you ever need as long as they're the same type. So I put that into the storage crate and then we're heading to the Galleria now. Alright, so this one I'm going to just make sure where we're at. Armor shop, admin, platinum bay, Kasaba outlet. Yeah. I can go head over to the armor shop. That's probably where they're gonna have it. Which is just right over here. So they have a few weapons on the back wall there. Let's check the terminal here. Okay. Yeah, P4. Beautiful. Tried and true. And they've got ammo for it as well. Just looking at what else they have. The LH-86. Arclight. The Gallant. Not bad. This is a laser rifle. And the Karna rifle, which is a plasma. I'll go with the Karna, actually. We'll buy one of those. And I'm gonna buy... Oh. We'll buy 12 magazines for it. They're not too expensive. You can really stock up, though. We'll head back to our hangar and work on getting set up for the rest of our trip. Let's see. Up to this point, not even half an hour yet. All rolling up on half an hour by the time we're going to be able to get out of the station, but sheesh. People are sometimes very dumb. That medium hangar. And first things first, let's get
to the aSOP vehicle retrieval.
Cutlass Black retrieved.
Your vehicle has been. Please visit us.
And we'll slap that Karna on the back. I'm gonna equip all. Alright, so I have 8 armor, or 8 magazine slots right across there, 4 on each side. Good, and then I'll stick the 4 spares in the back. So the Rock is good, Cutlass Black is good. Okay. I want to open up this side hatch. And this is why I got the 2 SU crates instead of an 8 or a 4. So we're going to stack them together on the kind of the inner wall area. Okay, send the freight elevator down. One and 2. There we go. We got a 90-degree rotation, and kind of just make sure it's gonna fit in there nice and long ways. Yeah, stack it to the grid. Now next one here. Yep. And boom, perfect. So just like that, we are loaded up. Before we hit the road though, yeah, that's my 2 cruise bottles. I'm gonna put those into my main bag now. Put one in my hand, and let's top off before we hit the road. Last chance for your bio brakes. These undersuits have filtering, but I gotta tell you, it leaves a funky taste. Okay, and I'm gonna use both right now. Just drain them down to 0%. We'll demonstrate how that looks as we go. Okay. One other thing you could go with, I don't have one with me right now, is actually a med pen. So that's an essential part of the kit as well. But basically, this just allows you, as we look towards the bottom of the box, we have now 4 SCU of storage space. I probably could go here with it, so it's a little bit less, you know, be able to like kind of drive the rock in a little further off to the side. That'll be a better overall config. Let's get to it though. Look at that. Probably right at about 30 minutes right now. And once again, we're waiting. So the place we're heading to today is Aberdeen. Okay, it's one of Hurston's moons. It was previously the Hadanite homeworld, right? Basically everything you found there would be Hadanite. They've mixed it in now. It is a combination, but still primarily Hadanite. Make sure we're all topped off before we go while we're waiting. So, get out there. It is very hot, but Feynmaline is the new materials we're after. So, wait on these doors. Have a quick look over to... There we go. Sometimes you have to get to this comms panel and hail that way. So Feynmaline, it's going to be worth 391 credits per gem. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you think about the way that the patches appear. Each node will be like 20 gems, and they usually come in about, you know, between, I'd say like 12 to 20 at the high end as far as the patch sizes. So that's pretty easily 400. Alright, we are obstructed on our way to Aberdeen. Let's reroute. See if it puts, yeah, OM6 in between. So 400 gems off of a single patch. That's not too bad. And we've got 4 SCU of spare space in which to offload into. We should look pretty good. And welcome to Aberdeen. So, a couple of ways you can run this. First, you can go to OM1 and go down. Go to OM2 and again, come back up. You can go to any one of these outposts and travel from there. I don't like to do that, just mostly because it starts you already pretty close. I'll go to OM2, and the amount of time you spend flying away from an outpost is about the same you're going to spend flying down to the surface anyways. So this just gives you a little bit better. So from OM2, looking down at the planet, or the moon, left side is going to be our sunrise side. So that'll be nice. We see the grove there. We see, what are these? Klesher. Don't want to go too close that direction. And Norgard and Anderson up on the far side there. So I'm going to just head towards the surface, kind of pulling max speed here. I'm going to go along this line. Basically head at 0 degrees due directly north. And that'll take us around, but not directly into, what is that, the grove. So we'll kind of split the gap between the grove there. As long as we keep our heading at due north, that should be fine. My guide is about 70 kilometers. That's most of your ships are detectable, plus a little bit of margin if you're depending on when people are jumping out. People come out at like 20 kilometers away from an outpost, so if they get the appropriate angle, they might catch on. And it is a little bit of a fly, but we're just cruising. Nice time for a water break. Starting to get the atmospheric effects. Let's, yeah, basically heading 340. That'll be perfect. Not quite the 360 we started with. Now you want to pull up, watch that altitude. There we go. 300 meters off of the deck. So I'm gonna stay in nav mode, actually, and we're gonna just start pinging. We go, that's 90 degrees right, we're at 180 degrees right now. We'll get stuff off to the side and directly in front. Cruising a little fast at 300 meters a second, and we'll stay about 200 meters off the deck. So this stuff, that's all gemstones. They were out beyond 3 kilometers. In the Greycat, or in the Cutlass Black, gemstones are only going to appear at 3 kilometers distance. So if we spot something, yeah, that's 7-ish, I'm going to bring it down to 90. If we spot something within 3 kilometers after seeing, you know, 8 or so, most rocks will appear at 10 kilometers maximum range, like nothing will appear outside that. So we're just watching for that stuff that pops up within 3. It's not a guarantee to be Feynmaline, so we're going to need to watch out for that as well. 8 kilometers. And the RS value, it matters a little bit. We know that's 1800 is a solo rock. Okay. And you know, we got two of those coming up on either side. And yeah, it resolved into an individual rock there, as expected. Splitting the gap between these. Keep our heading going. Now, you could maneuver off the side, like come and check these rocks out if you wanted to. Right? But, honestly, yeah. Keep an eye on where your heading is at. Don't double back, because you'll pass over places you've already scanned, or decided not to waste your effort with. Ooh, and here we are. Hatered. Just popped up at like 2.5 kilometers. That's all you want to watch your speed. Right? And kind of... And that is Feynmaline. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. Let's get ourselves set up.
Landing gear down.
And I like to go into third person. Just confirm where you're landing at. And power off engines only. And then I do open up all. And we see we make good contact with the ground. That's perfect. Good find. So it opens all, which includes these. I'm gonna just close that for good measure. Close that. And we'll hop into the driver's seat. Now the interesting thing about Aberdeen, that southern pole, more or less in perpetual twilight, right? Oh, that was not the cleanest. More or less in perpetual twilight. We'll get a little bit of, you know, sunrise or whatever. One thing I wish the Greycat rock had was a little bit better torque for these types of terrain. Just see it getting bounced around a lot, which is unfortunate. We're going to start on the far side of this patch. And if you watched my gemstone mining tutorial, which I just actually released this morning, yeah, I like to mine with my vehicle in view. So starting from the far side and working my way back. So this is the stock Arbor laser. If you wanted to upgrade, the Lawson laser is great. Gives you a 40% increased optimal charge window. Green zones on these are already pretty awesome. So Feynmaline is nice about that.
Extraction mode.
And before it even has a chance to scatter that much, I've got the extraction going, and it does work pretty well that way. And I just try and do that in between.
Fracturing mode.
Gives my mining laser a bit of a break. Didn't even mean that to be a joke, but there we are. Now I could turn my headlights off. Did note that's something that can really help people find you, is if you are flying with headlights on. Be a good thing to note.
Extraction mode on.
And trying to run down that hill. Not today, you don't.
Fracturing mode.
I see a signal out that way. I'm not sure what heading it is specifically right now, but at that distance, maybe it could be worth pursuing. Alright, near the top there. You notice I'm just jittering a little bit. What you can do sometimes is just put like, I'm kind of got a left turn on the wheel right now. Go that straight, maybe a little left, maybe a little forward. Sometimes just providing some input makes the vehicle stabilize a bit. Doesn't jitter as much. Of course, I don't think it's helping right now. But, and I do a quick switch in there. While the gems are still there, it's pretty good at picking them all up.
Fracturing mode on.
Just one thing to do to watch out for as well is your optimal range. Sometimes people get really confused, like the rocks might be overcharging. It's because you're inside your optimal range, like really, really close. If you have one that, if you're trying to do like FPS size deposits, a very real chance you're going to overcharge it, and maybe try and be at your maximum range there instead. There was a time when keeping it on the lower end of the charge window would leave the rocks really nice and close. It seems like the scatter pattern doesn't matter how much juice you put into it now. But yeah, very smooth. So get about 380 gems out of this.
Extraction mode on. Fracturing
That was a
mode
fail.
on.
Switched, put too many buttons in there. Let's see. We can go through and clean those up afterwards as well.
Fracturing mode on.
Kind of watch your angles just enough that you don't. Yeah, see. No input, and I kind of wobbled. Right turn input does fine. Just that's with my D key. Half an hour to set up, 10 minutes to get down, find a patch. Turnaround time on gemstone mining is really, really nice. That's part of the reason why it's like what most people get started with. And I gotta say, for less than 100,000 credits
Extraction
to get in and have kind of this I would say an authentic mining experience, right? You've got the power management, fracturing and extraction. You, of course, don't have to worry about the refinery, any other cargo stuff, which makes this a really good entry-level activity. Part of the problem with ore mining is it does have that entire supply chain process before you're able to get paid.
Warning. Power critical.
Little too much juice.
Power critical.
The optimal charge window sometimes takes a while to kick in, and that's what happened there. Just let the power off. If you're on the arbor laser, just power off entirely.
Extraction mode on.
If you're on the Lawson actually includes... yeah, you got a couple bonus gems there after the fracture. Animation took a minute. The Lawson includes an optimal charge window increase, so it's actually easier there if you just set it to minimum power. And you'll note I'm collecting right away. What's going to happen is if I get set up and overcharge a rock by accident, anything that's on the ground also gets scattered. And too many loose items does sometimes affect performance. We've had it where if a vehicle coming up behind a group of like Greycat, and Argo Atlas Geos, if they're out there breaking a patch and you've got hundreds and hundreds of gems out on the surface, the player that's flying up behind, joining into the group, when they start loading in all those entities, they get a client crash. Just like too many things to keep track of.
Extraction mode on.
So, it was pretty repeatable for us, and so we, fortunately with
Fraction
the Argo Atlas for our group mining sessions, that was, that's got limited cargo storage, and so we were kind of relying on the rock to scoop afterwards. We have to drag it along and kind of do a little bit of waiting, which is okay. Go ahead, we're gonna kind of at that max range, so we can put a little more juice into it. Odd angle just based on the terrain here. Just a smidge of overcharge there, and that's as easy as it happens. Okay. Trying to get repositioned while still putting juice in.
Fraction mode on.
And near the max.
Extraction mode on.
It's gonna break. Oh. Yeah, so you can't be all preemptive about it either.
Fraction
Only that does not work.
on. Extraction mode on.
Thought I could trick it and collect them all. All in due time. Sometimes the rocks just don't want to collect. Be a little patient. Toggling on and off is your best bet. Okay.
Fraction mode on.
Bring that power down just a little bit. I don't know where the optimal window's at yet. Oh, yeah. Jeez, that is just not liking those angles.
Extraction mode on.
See, that one scattered a lot more. Didn't really have any reason to either. Didn't have really any overcharge to it.
Fracturing mode on.
Yeah. So I'll drive a little bit to scoop those up, but yeah, the vehicle handling had a lot of improvements in 4.0. I was very impressed with it. Getting places I never really would have been able to before.
Extraction mode on.
But yeah, some of that seems to have been reverted. I would say the Greycat rock just still kind of feels a little gutless.
Fracturing mode on. Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on.
Small hills and just kind of loses traction, which is unfortunate. Right. Continuing to work through this patch. Good note, there was a smaller patch. It was a couple kilometers behind us. We'll give it a quick review. Ooh, I think I got almost every single gem from that one. That was really well timed. Can be done. It's not a race to the green. You don't need to, like, really send it there. Some of the gemstones you're mining are going to have a really bad explosion radius. So, yeah, the overcharge in there, it could damage your vehicle. You got to really watch out for that. We've had, during our Sunday morning mining group sessions,
Extraction mode on.
we've had one exploding rock take out our entire fleet of geos. Why it's always nice to bring backups.
Fracturing mode on.
Yeah, it sucks when you're out in, like, in the Pyro 5 neighborhood where there's no real infrastructure to support other stuff nearby. And you gotta go for a full vehicle re-outfit.
Warning. Power critical.
A little overcharged, not bad.
Extraction mode on.
Get close there. And you just give it a tab. Tab gets all these highlighted. Makes it a little easier to spot them. Do some driving around to pick up the rest as we go. There's a couple up here, and you see, yeah, it scattered these 200 meters out. That's why I say the 95% rule, right?
Fracturing mode on.
I could spend an extra 5 minutes going and collecting all those that found themselves a few hundred meters away from me. Is it worth it? You just find a new patch? Probably not. Okay. Now, this would be a great activity, you know, you just hop in with your audiobook. Just chill. That's one of the things about mining, is it is just a very relaxing activity. Maybe you're popping on one of my videos, watching this while you do your own mining. Certainly worth it. I'm a big fan of audiobooks. I can't hold the paper version of a book without falling asleep, you know?
Fraction mode on.
I do love bookstores, you know, having a couple of versions there. Got hard copies of my favorites, although I don't usually consume in a hard copy format. Well, who knows? When the apocalypse happens, we're all out of power. It's nice to have it on hand. I haven't been big on like meeting the author for some of them, but there are a couple of authors who I'd love to get an autographed version of the book for. Kind of that celebrity style.
Fraction mode on.
Had somebody I met at CitizenCon in Manchester. They had brought their own self-published novels. I'm not sure if it was self-published, but yeah, they wrote novels based on the Star Citizen universe and had copies they were giving out. I probably need to go read that one. But I got an autograph in there as well. Limited edition Star Citizen swag. Can't pass that up.
Extraction mode on.
And there we are. Come on. Just a little angle. Now we kind of have this hill here things are rolling down for. Manageable.
Fraction mode on.
Last one. And I want to say something. I'm going to wait till this is done. But, yeah. Don't curse it.
Extraction mode on.
Cool. And only, like, really only one of those just completely overcooked. And, I mean, it wasn't even an overcharge. It was just that it was decided they wanted to scatter like crazy. My grandmother, when she was doing family meals and stuff, I mean, look at that. We got 400 meters all the way out here. Some of these are just, yeah. You'd spend half an hour chasing all those down. We'll get the ones that are real close, but don't waste time if they don't want to be here. Let them run free. Free range Feynmaline. Oof. Yes, my grandma, when she was making family meals and stuff, you know, she'd always burn one batch of rolls. Inevitable. Whether she wanted to or not. It was like the last batch before she served. She kind of forgot to pull it out. So we'd all be sitting at the Thanksgiving dinner table and smell something burning. And, yep, that last tray of rolls was in the oven. She was a fantastic cook, but that was the one thing she always kind of got herself caught on.
Mining mode off.
Yep. So you just cook one, sacrifice it for grandma. Alright, we're gonna pull a little sideways here, and I think, yeah, that should be great. So, a good rule of thumb, before you take off, that'd be a while. Yeah. So you can open up the back of the door here, open up this storage, and look at that, 374. I bet you we would have had 380 if those gems hadn't have split off. So I'm going to split into 170 because I know that's what can fit in the backpack. We'll just load up here. I'm going to load into... Let's load into the top one first. Okay. Not bad. Now, we're not going to estimate values until we get back and actually sell them. You know, nothing about counting eggs before they hatch. Conventional wisdom. Make sure you close that up. Make it a little, you know, just... You don't want your butt hanging out. So, and then we can stack them. Should be good. 374. I guess I should have closed that back ramp while I was there, but alas. Use that keybind to toggle all.
Engines online. Launch complete.
But we said there was a signal at 2 kilometers. Now, that's gemstones. In this distance, I could tell. That is gemstones.
Landing gear.
They're very tight on top of each other. They haven't identified yet. Get to 300. Alright, that's Baradom. We were going to skip this. Mostly because Baradom is, yeah, lower profit. We do the narrow ping there. Okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to head right towards the sun. Just set to our 90-degree ping angle. I'm doing that through the mouse scroll wheel. You see this bar over here. We're at 360. That's 180, 90, I think 45, 22, 11, and 5, and 2. But really, 1, 2 ticks all in. So we're gonna cruise, keep that right on horizon marker, and just basically, yeah, tab as often as you can. We're gonna turn the light off. We see off to our left, 8 kilometers out. Those are ores. Don't need to worry about them. We're heading direct south, so that sun's gonna start rising on us. Direct north. Usually come from OM1 just out of habit, but why risk things? All right. Yeah, there we are. Right behind my instrument panel. 6 kilometers out. 9 kilometers to the left. And just cruising. Mountain range up here. Now one thing, hills. Not fun to do gemstone mining in. All those gems will roll down the hill. You'll be chasing them for ages. Unless you set your vehicle at the bottom of the hill. Just have it be like a natural funnel that they'll all collapse into. Getting a little bit of altitude. We're at like 300 meters. Cruising at 200 meters a second. So really we've got 15 seconds within range if we're like right on top of a deposit. That's how quick it'll happen. 8 kilometers off to the left. Good. 90 degrees is about the field of view you're set. I like to switch mine up to like 104 degree field of view. On kind of those widescreen monitors. I think that's a pretty good natural mix. You get a little distortion off to the edge of your monitor, but essentially 90 degrees is what you see in view. It won't be anything outside, so you won't miss it off to the left or right. Gives a little bit improved resolution on the signals if you get something that's a little closer. And that's just our ore deposit resolved. mountains have a couple things. Not many places to land. You want flat spots, really. And, yeah, they're gonna push gems down around. Let's come this way so we can get out of this just briefly. And 9 kilometers, yeah. 8 kilometers. And we're going heading 0. Now, if you're somebody who like uses voice attack or other macro stuff, you could, oh, here we are. You could set it to ping that automatically every few seconds, but you'd want to make sure you turn it off. Okay. This is an interesting setup. So, yeah, we'll check. Is it? That is Feynmaline. Okay, so these are going to roll down this hill, which I think is going to be fine, right? Oh, and before we get too far, how many are in there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, interesting thing here though. Only one has the blue outline. Now none. It may have not. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think that's 14 or so. Go ahead and we'll set her down in the flat land over here.
Engines offline.
We're going to start from the top of the hill and then work our way down, and those gemstones are going to roll down into a nice group at the bottom. At least that is the hope. Little tight corner there. If I have any problem getting up the hill, I'll actually just get out and tractor beam the rifle up to the top. And yeah. I like going in third person. It gives you a little bit of more understanding of what's around you. And see, just here, barely making it up the hill. Here, I gotta tell you, if you design terrain like this and you design vehicles that are supposed to be able to go over that terrain, give them the torque so that this is just, it feels gutless, right? I have to go sideways. Not great. And we're gonna be
Extraction mode on. Mining mode on. Fraction
just
mode
fighting this
on.
terrain all the time. This is about as much of a hill as you'd want. Now, while I'm mining, I'm also trying to do some positioning, so you're kind of walking and chewing gum at the same time. You'd say I'm a man of many talents.
Extraction mode on.
And look at that. Like the fireworks from 4th of July, and they are just rolling down that hill. This is fine. This is fine.
Mode on.
Let's go ahead. This is about the max range here. These angles are just terrible. Okay, it finally kicks in. I just don't want to commit any more to that hill right now. It is always tempting to get in and just like break them all and come back in and scoop as one big group, but man, it's like those mobile game ads where you're just scooping up gems. You feel like Sonic on like the ultra mode. Oh. Yeah. So those will be at the bottom of the hill, waiting for us down there. Already kind of getting out of range, so. I'm like holding right with the wheels to kind of get a little bit better traction. A lot of coordination goes into this type of maneuver. You're managing power, you're making sure your vehicle's not moving on you. Getting a little bit of wiggle.
Extraction mode on.
Oh, yeah, got a few. Hey. Just enough before they got out of range.
Fraction mode on.
I go for these two over this side now. Alright, that is just moving around way too much to be stable. I think we got it. Okay. Yeah, we'll manage.
Extraction mode on.
Everything else is out of collection range.
Extraction mode on.
See those gems right there?
Fraction mode on.
Pretty stable right here, actually. The traction really needs work, I think. Just personally. All right.
Extraction mode on. Fraction mode on.
Try and get on this like half lip. Yeah, that works perfect. Or it would have worked perfect. That is just annoying. They start up a little more on this slope. Yeah, that's good. All right. This is why hills are a pain. It's doable.
Extraction mode on. Fraction mode on.
Starting on the uphill side. Little traction. cook it. Gotta find some stability on this. Another hydrate break there if you didn't catch it.
Extraction mode on.
Ooh. Ooh, okay.
Fracturing mode on.
And let's come this way. Nice little shelf. Process gets a little repetitive, but you know, and depending on your situation, you know, the rocks on the hillside, that adds a nice little challenge, keeps your brain engaged.
Extraction mode
I always switch a little early and do my best to collect all of them right as they open up. A little game you like to play with yourself, you know? It's a gem, come on. For whatever reason, sometimes gems get flung behind you. They might not scoop or collect properly. No problems that way. That's why I go with the 95% rule. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just a little drift there.
extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on.
Just about the max range off of that right side. See that difference. Now if I hit that with the same amount of power on one of these closer ones, almost instantly overcharge. You gotta watch out for it. It's like 145-ish gems in there right now. Not bad, not bad. Now, I know from looking things up yesterday, or the other day, we had a Sunday mining section with a whole bunch of folks participating. I think we had over 6,000 gems we pulled. I know for a fact that Anderson, HDMS Anderson, here on Aberdeen, takes all the gems we're going to have. So we are actually heading that direction as well. So if you're not sure where to sell these at, aUEC Corp website, they've got, you know, kind of market prices and trading tools and stuff. They do real well. We've got folks feeding real-time in-game data. Since CIG just doesn't want to do APIs or give us any like outside access, you know? I'm not bitter about that at all, if you couldn't tell. Yeah.
Fraction mode on.
Some of the things for industrial gameplay are just very limited as far as what we have in-game. Not really great efficiency tools. I mean, that's kind of Star Citizen in general. I think they purposefully make it inefficient, so...
Extraction mode on.
Is definitely strong with the alpha a lot of times. Pretty good on gems collected from the last few. Everything else kind of rolled down that hill, so.
Extraction mode on. Fraction mode on.
Hey. Last few here. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Critical. Warning.
That just went right for it. Imagine that green. Find your happy place.
Extraction mode on.
Oh, that was like perfect timing. About 3 or 4 gems that didn't want to go. We will continue over here. Okay. Yeah, we see a bunch down that hill.
Fraction mode on.
Go add a few more. More gems for the gem god. Every now and then you just gotta cook one, right? Sacrifices to the gemstone god.
Extraction mode on.
Oh, last one. Yes. I think that was perfect. That was perfect. Ugh.
Fraction
Ugh.
mode on. Extraction mode on.
We have one gem that made it like 200 meters that way. I'm gonna ignore him. Okay, that's it. Let's... little drift. Need for gem 7. Aberdeen drift. Get onto the ground and just... The way they slid down here, oof. Okay. And collecting. There's one here. All right. I'm pretty far out there. We'll pass. Just drifting sideways like crazy here. Okay. Ooh, we could hunt the Polaris. I should help. I feel like a Greycat rock would do great on a Polaris. Okay, 298. I will split that into 170. Top storage first. Okay, we get this all sold. Pays for the rental. Gives us a net positive there. And And yeah, there we are. 35% full. That's 672. So, yeah, as expected. We'll get 2,000 gems in each of those. I don't think we'll fill that up today. Probably do one more patch. See how it goes. Hour 26 in.
Engines
Not bad.
launch complete.
Okay. Just confirm we're all tucked in. Heading 0.
Gear up.
Okay. Oh, that's nearby ore. And we'll make sure we're at 90. Check your sides. Further north we get from the southern pole here. Well, that sun's coming up. It's going to be rotating around us for a lot of the time, but... Okay, 9 kilometers. Ignoring anything outside of 3 kilometers, essentially. Make sure we keep our altitude 200 to 400 meters. One of the pieces of advice if you're ore mining is if you fly above like 5 kilometers, gemstones won't appear on your radar scan, so it kind of filters them out. It does limit your detection range for the other deposits, but yeah. If you're in any ship that's a mining or expedition, gemstones are 5 kilometers. Any other ship. So mining expedition is 5 kilometers. Any other ship is 3 kilometers. So keep that altitude. Use it to filter out the gemstone signals if you're looking for ores. If you're looking for gemstones, yeah, you just gotta fly low and slow like this. Keep an eye out for any signals that pop up within that 2 kilometer range. See 8 kilometers off to our left. And just don't need to approach them, just know where they're at, and keep an eye out for anything new pops in between. Oh, we are getting sandworm territory. Alright, so this is all a bunch of juvenile Velicar that are unfortunately competing signals out here. Hide under the surface. You get out, they'll start shooting at you. If I had a med gun with me, I'd totally go out and start messing with them, but I don't want to have to call for a rescue today. You can harvest the juvenile Velicar Fang. It is used for some guns and weapons and stuff. Unfortunately, it does kind of maybe oversaturates your survey. A lot more stuff to keep track of, which is kind of annoying. Continuing. Gonna head due north, right up to 0. Rotate a little bit. Okay, 6 kilometers. It's our single war node that resolved. Going. Now I know with the Atlas Geo, that mining laser does a little bit of power, like a little bit of damage, not much at all. I'm assuming the Greycat rocket to be the same, so if you get out, you got a Velicar spitting at you. I don't know if you can run them over. That'll be interesting. Freaking sandworms. Little water break as we go. Feeling properly hydrated. Also good that I set out with my character fully replenished. I hope we could be, yeah, we're not quite out of the woods yet. Still more. It's hard to tell whether or not you're gonna come across something. All the other signals competing. Literally just hundreds. Get out there. You're farming for those, man. Easy pickings. We're gonna switch it into nav mode. Really just bump up that speed, get ourselves through this. And beyond what might be just this. Maybe it's not gonna be done ever, but got about 3 seconds of detection distance for the ugh. Not seeing anything as we get through all this freaking sandworm territory. Boost up to about 500 meters a second. Going out to 180. Keeping an eye out. Something, anything. Okay, we saw ore deposit. Okay, here we are.
Landing gear down.
Okay. And that's Feynmaline. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Beautiful. Hit land here. Now, I'm not gonna put it over these little beasties to not come and harass me.
Offline.
Pull the Carna rifle out. Nothing so far. All right. Hey, you know, I want to catch the light. You gotta get good lighting here. make this the episode thumbnail. So, what we're going to do instead of lining up here,
Engines online.
we'll line up towards the sun, towards the star, sun. Yeah, we'll park it right here. Nice and cinematic.
Lab.
Yeah. That's going to be wonderful. Great terrain. There, see? Get them screenshots, man. Screenshot, citizen. Alright. Set up about right here. And why not? We get out, line up at the edge. One thing, you know, content creator, you gotta save some for the gram, you know? Yeah, about right here. Those grasses are just... Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Maybe even just bring this out. Alright, you guys get to watch what happens. Staging, right? I'm gonna rotate this so you don't have great rotation control, like it's real slow. But it does kind of work. Very, very slow. Right. Well, line this up from about right here now. Bring it in. Yeah, boom. Oh, yeah, stare at that rock. Come back out a little bit. Good framing with the other rocks behind. Good to go. Thanks for indulging. Sometimes, like, I'll get through an entire recording, and by the end I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna use for the screenshot there? I should have, like, stopped and just smelled the roses, you know? On some way to do that.
Extraction
Like
mode
that.
on. Mining mode on. Fracturing mode on.
Usually have to go back through and like find some snapshot within the video recording. A couple of dedicated screenshots. Those are nice. I'm playing in 4K, so they end up being nice, high quality, high resolution images. I do that. I'm only recording in 1080p, so standard high def.
Extraction mode on.
Well. Yeah.
Fracturing mode on.
I do want to start maybe recording and editing in 2K or 4K. I just got approved for Twitch on 2K. I'm going to be trying to troubleshoot that for the next couple of days, seeing about doing a Friday night Valacar. Sorry, Stormbreaker. Yeah. Yeah, trying to open up the vault with the Valacar egg and Sanity. I think I saw one gem go flying like high left. Run away. So yeah, 4.2 on the horizon. A lot of folks stopping their regular ore mining and switching into gemstones just to not worry about losing things. All those refinery orders getting wiped out. It's a real bummer. Okay. Ooh. Free Feynmaline patches. Not bad, not bad. So with the cargo crates, you can keep them, reuse them. There is some ownership issues. Sometimes I've found, like when I'm in party and somebody gives me a cargo crate, I can use it during that session. But as soon as they leave party, it registered that cargo crate as stolen, and you like it kind of breaks your inventory if it's stored and you're trying to access things from it. So it is really unfortunate. Make sure you know who owns the storage crate, and hopefully that's something they can fix.
Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on.
Object ownership has always been kind of a touchy subject as far as the Star Citizen game engine believes. Oh yeah. On my main account, I would love running with the Valkyrie during my rock mining runs. Plenty of space. It's a nice wide area there. Valkyrie's a little nicer accommodations. Now they've got the Asgard, which has really, I mean, I say a daily driver. I do so much variety that it's not like I'm stuck into one. If I was doing strictly gemstone mining or, you know, bunkers, Asgard would be pretty good. Is it a full replacement for the Valkyrie? Maybe.
Power critical.
A little overcharged there. Really cooking. I don't think it makes the Valkyrie obsolete, though. It does just feel like a decent upgrade from...
Extraction mode on.
Alright, oh. Gemstones in my lap. That was hot. It's like if you're at the firing range, you get that hot brass that pops down your shirt or something.
Fracturing mode on.
Don't wear loose shirts to the firing range, I guess. I was out shooting my brother and he had brought flip-flops. And, yeah. He hole punched through the bottom of those with a 9mm jacket that just Got a nice, perfect little circle there on the underside of those flip-flops.
Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on.
We'll just, yeah. Work through that. Alright. Couple more gems. We're gonna head off to Anderson. Get these last few nodes broken up. And that dune feeling with the sandworms and all that.
Extraction mode on.
Pretty fun, but I will say, very annoying if you're out there looking for something and all you're seeing is sandworms. It's like oversaturating your sensors. One up on the hill.
Fracturing mode.
We'll leave that be. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so the Cutlass Black is a nice transport. What are your favorites? Drop them in chat. Get some engagement out there. Talk about what ships you like to haul your Greycat rock around with. If it's a rental as well, you know, bonus points. Folks out there not wanting to spend millions of credits to just get started mining, right? Who wants to invest in a gameplay loop they're not sure about? But yeah, the rented rock, Cutlass Black, get a pretty good amount now. I think Gemstone prices are on the increase. Adonite used to only be like 275. This Feynmaline is 391, and Adonite's now like 600. But it's been moved to cave only, and really, you know, a lot more time intensive to harvest.
Extraction mode on.
As you saw my inventory over at Lorville, I did actually come across some Janelite. I was recording a couple of cave mining deals. Turned out pretty well. So you can sell Janelite like 18,000 credits at the terminals, depending on the location. Or what you can do is you can hold on to it and sell it to other players. It's a Wicklow barter item. So a lot of folks trying to get it and willing to pay a pretty penny, you know. Some up to like 200,000 per gem. So that is one benefit now. The player-driven economy, player-to-player trades are starting to become a lot more common now that Banu is, you know, Wicklow is doing his barter. Folks that don't want to go out and mine 1,200 units of Quantanium by themselves, you know, going into larger industrial orgs and buying it in bulk. I think that alone has made mining a lot more profitable overall.
Extraction mode on.
Just people earn their money how they want, spend it how they want. It's good. Good times. I do like seeing some variety there, and obviously, you know, if I can make mining a lot more profitable myself, do it. Taking a lot of profits for the org. The Red Legion will be starting to manage how those get distributed, but trying to build up a bankroll and an inventory to sell from, and it's turned out pretty well. Last one.
Extraction mode on.
Of course, that's the one that really wants to cook it. Okay. The little nubs it leaves behind cause terrain issues, which is annoying, to say the least. Okay. There we go. Not too shabby. So load it on up in. The blue highlight of death. Holy crap. I like to turn the engines off. Make sure you're sorted there. We'll close this up. Turn the engines off so it's not going to move around. That's at least best practice. Alright, 170 again. We'll split. And we'll head over to Anderson and get this thing sold. Now, if you got like a full marathon day, you could do the 24-hour rental. Do just fine with it. What are we up to? Sometimes, yep, 930 gems. That'll be a pretty decent payout. Let's go drop it over at the terminals then. So, 24-hour rental, do a couple of sessions like this. If you've got a friend with you, you can really bump up the timing. The Cutlass Black can fit 2. So.
Landing gear up. Shield system offline.
Let's find ourselves. Okay. Oh man. 100 kilometers from Klesher. We were getting on the close side. Alright, and Anderson there at 370. It is useful to always like kind of check back and forth. If you feel like, you know, get out there, a couple of patches, just confirm where you're at. Get your alignment set up. Don't end up danger zone. Oh, just cruising over the terrain in this quantum mode. Beautiful, beautiful situation. Alright, and there is Anderson ahead of us.
Quantum drive is now off.
It looks like a Connie, maybe from the outline. Connie and a Cuddy. We come in with our shields up. Get into the outpost. We'll be in the armistice zone, so. Yeah, folks. Storage building is right there. It's got a Greycat rock. Must not be the only one with this plan today.
Docking initiated. Docking denied. Landing gear down.
Bit of a tight squeeze, don't mind me. We'll park close, not on top. I mean, scraped a little paint, I might leave a note. So first things first, let's get ourselves some room to move. Make sure that it's instanced to us. Okay, valid. Very valid. Okay. And transfer it in. This is your high risk moment. Send it down. Don't exit. Okay, when it goes down, then we'll see it here. Don't send it up yet either. Double click, grab those 930 gems, drag them to the right, use the arrow up here to come back up, and we're gonna lock in that move. So now, comes up, we'll have an empty storage crate, and we'll have 930 gems in local. Okay, yeah, you see them both. And my storage crate, good to go. I'll align it right on top. Wonderful. And close it. Okay. Now let's head into the storage building. Right here. We'll have our kiosk. It is a good idea to go sell about every hour and a half, 2 hours. Good opportunity for you to also get a bio break IRL. Make sure your character in game is hydrated. All the fun stuff. Alright, somebody left their core armor. Found an upgrade. Okay, so now we're gonna go in. I'm gonna find Anderson. In demand. Alright, 363,000 credits. Now, I've been at this about 2 hours. I would say the first, half hour, 45-ish minutes was fighting along, trying to find stuff. You can continue doing this now that you're all set up. Just go out, find the next patch, continue doing that. I would say basically like 300,000 credits an hour is pretty reasonable, like 275 to 300 once you get set up. Okay, transaction complete. I am paid, but I'll tell you what, we spent 100,000, we made 300 and change, and then everything else you did today would be pure profit. And 4 million credits, that's 10 hours of this. That'll be a long ass day, but could be something, if you wanted to get out of the bounty hunting grind, all that. But and I'm really liking the sunset. I might go line up for a little sunset shot there afterwards. So, and here comes a Connie. So with that, things are looking good. Thanks for watching, being here, enjoying a nice rented rock and Cutty Black combo session today. Earning ourselves some credits and showing off a little bit of the probably one of the most accessible ways to get into mining in Star Citizen. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna go find me a sunset to ride off into. Be catching you guys later.